Good evening. It's Tuesday night and I'm tired. I've been working all day and I still want to make a video. Sometimes when you're working in Nesmaker, you go through these bug things. You might have a huge bug and it can take a week or two to solve it, maybe seconds to days. And right now it's been almost a couple of days already. So I'm adding a fade-in code to my game, which is very complicated. It uses 32 variables, but it's for my color engine. And I haven't visited since the morning, so I lost my place. This what happens when you can mess with so much code, you will lose your place. But if I remember correctly, I block the loading of the fade-in. So it has to be here on the extra screen load. No, the do load screen. And yeah, here it is. As you can see here. I don't even got my mouse on me. Using the stupid touchpad. Well, this is all about pallets, and Nesmaker has your bckPal and your sprPal. That's what Nesmaker uses. It's located in the overflow RAM. So I made a new variable called bckPal RAM and sprPal RAM, so I can store the colors. Oh yeah, so I did a loop that stores the color into the bckPal RAM. So as you can see, you can forget about all of this. What's more important is the bckPal loop. What I'm doing is I am loading, excuse me, you can see here I am loading bckPal of the X position. I'm using registry X as the position so I can load bckPal 0 through 16. And then in the next step, I copy over. I'm storing it, but you already know what STA is. I'm storing it, but what I'm really doing is I'm copying over the bckPal because it goes straight. The bckPal of the X position goes straight to the accumulator, and then I do that so I can copy over the bckPal RAM or label of X position. So this makes it very well. I'll get to that. Now that I took the color, whatever was loaded, if I have red, I'll put the red into the bckPal RAM. Then I load a 0F to the accumulator. Null value to accumulator. What is 0F? It's for? It's a color. Do you know what color 0F is? It's a very common color. Let's go here. As you can see, 0F is black. This is the color you want when you're going to start a fade in. So I load that, and then this is where I block the codes I'm going to turn back on, and I store it into the bckPal. So I copy the value into the bckPal of same X register. So using this X, it makes it unique, and then I increase X. INX increases X. And then I compare it to 16, as CPX is compare X to 16, and if it is 16, to branch to bckPal done. And if it's not, it's going to jump back to bckPal to background black loop. Ugh. So as you can see here, this is the whole loop here. So this is the background back loop. It begins here, and it does take the color and load it into my RAM variables to store it so as reference, so I could do stuff with it, and then replaces it with black, and then well, first it loads up the black and to store it right there, so it replaces it with black. Then it increases the X to continue to compare to 16. If not, it continues to the next one, and it goes back to the loop to do it to every color. There is 16. Well, there's only 13 colors, right? You got the 4 here, but the backgrounds are the same. But it'll be too much to code like different variables to skip and stuff. So it makes it much easier, which what Nesmaker does by default is to just load all 16 in here. So you can just write this nifty small thing right here. I'm doing this now because it's optimized this way. I did it before, and I try to save a lot of processing power by just, well, I'll show it to you. What's the difference between this optimized code? Well, this is optimized for space, but not for speed. I'll show you how it looks like when it's optimized for speed, and things can get very messy. So, I'm gonna go to my old Nesmaker. I think this is it. Yeah, and I gotta go to the Nesmaker here. I need my mouse. I really do need my mouse. Here, put it here. Okay, I got my mouse. So now we're cooking with gas, so let's do this. Updating this. Let's install this now. Okay. Game engine data. Routines. Zoomy and common? No, not common. Subroutines. Oh, you know what? Not here. I gotta go to routines. I gotta go to base 4.5. I gotta go to system. And no, well, not system. To go to game, and I have to go to subroutines. And I go to my special folder right over here. This is for old Nesmaker, so don't follow any of this. And we're gonna go to the do load screen. And look at here. This might be the wrong one. That's weird. Oh, do load screen 16. Here it is. Okay, so as you can see here, I got something similar going on here. But instead, let's move. Now let's compare both. Now what we got here is the difference between, we're going to talk about writing code, and on the left side you have slower code that is that's more convenient to write, and it's just this is the whole loop. And then here I have to zoom all the way out. Oh my god. So here, this is the same thing going on. Right here. Nope, even lower. So you can see the same thing going on here. But I have way more lines of code, but this code is a lot more faster than this one. So let's count it by, we're not gonna count it exactly by cycle. We could just say lines of code. So starting from here, I'm just doing what I'm doing here, but over and over again. I'm loading the bckPal, and then I'm storing into my pal RAM, and then I'm taking out the last two. I'm taking out the bits. Well, this is different here. I don't make a screen black on the fade in, but this special case I have to. So here I'm basically just, you know, I'm loading the bckPal. And I'm storing it into the pal RAM. No exposition. Then here I'm removing the first 4 bits to get the darkest version of the current color. And then I'm storing it back to Nesmaker's pal value. So this is another way. Oh, so let's say you got a chart here, right? Look at this chart. Can I make it bigger? Oh yeah, let's make it huge. So look at this chart here. So let's say I'm like 25, and then I'm gonna get ready to do a fade, and I want the darkest color. You just remove the first. This is a hex number. That's why you got the C here and the F. And in binary, there's 8 bits, and each number equals 4 bits. So what happens when I just delete the first bit and remove everything? I'll get a 0. So 25 becomes 05, and bam, I get the darkest color of the current color. So if I'm 18, I want the darkest color, it's gonna go 08 if I remove the bits. If I was at 33, it'll go down to 03 when I remove the bits. Excuse me, I'm tired. So that's what I was doing here. But as you can see, I use an X register here, no X register, which means I have to keep doing it over and over again, which is why you got all this code. But right here is the end of background storage. So I gotta do it once, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 times. I gotta do it 13 times because what I'm doing is, in this code, I'm skipping the background color because I only need it once. So instead of 16, I only need it 13 times. So as you can see here, I got bckPal 1 with pal RAM 1, bckPal 2, 2, and then 3, 3. But look at here, 5, 4, 6, 5, 7, 6. Now they're not matching anymore because I'm skipping the color, but I didn't want to waste variables. So now the speed part. So let's count just by lines instead of cycles. Because cycles could be, you know, 2, 3, 4. But let's just give you an idea. Over here, let's count the lines here. I got 1, 2, 3, 4. So each one is 4 lines of code, right? So I put in the calculator, and there's 13 colors. So 4 times 13, and there we go. This code equals 52 lines of code that I have to run in Nesmaker. And it gets messy. If I have to keep doing it, it gets messier and messier and messier. But we're just talking about this background loop. So the loop to just store and do the same thing here, except, you know, make it darker and not making it black. 52 lines of code. So what about here? This is only one. Well, I'm not counting that. So let's count this the loop. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. But really, you know what? I'm not going to count this one because that's if it's done. It's going to be here, right? Yep. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So there's only 7 lines of code I had to write. So I'm going to put 7 lines code. But but this is 52 lines of code, and this is only 7 lines of code. But the 7 lines of code has to run 16 times. So really, because I did the 4 times 13, so now I have 7 times 16. That equals 112 lines of code. So now you understand that this is 52 lines of code and this is 112 lines of code. So this runs more lines of code. So this code is slower. It's slower than this code. It's double. It takes double the processing power. Thankfully, this code is only for fading the screen in, so doing that is not any real gameplay. So what's the benefit here? I'm also wasting more variables. I waste 16 when I only have to use 12, but it's easier to write. Look how much space it takes up here. Now, space-wise, 7 lines of code versus 52 lines of code. So this loop saves a lot more space than this. Big difference in space. And Nesmaker has very limited space, especially in its banks. I'll probably talk about banks in the next episode. Well, yeah, so we'll do it next episode. I don't want to do too much. I'm already tired. So you can see here that I am redoing my code for space. And if you got to go between space and speed, you want to go for space. But you can balance it. And a lot of this code is balanced here. But let me show you what the code does. So I saved it. I'm going to save it, and I'm going to run this thing here. As you can see here, you saw that fade in. I'm going to reset it and slow it down. Actually, I put a speed setting, but I'm just going to slow it down here. But I do have a speed setting. Look at that. The game fades from black. And now, if I go down here and press back here, now the screen is going to fade out. Speed up a little bit. What happens? And you can see that the screen is not doing what it's supposed to do. But if I try again, I'm gonna try again. See, now there it goes. It's working there. So I'll press it, it fades out, and then it fades back in. Pretty nice. So the problem I'm having now is that I'm using my menu plugin, and when it fades, the menu plugin does not run. And I don't know what the heck is going on. I'm reading my code over and over again. I'm following it. And you know what? That just will not do. So the cool thing that we can do now, that I've been using a lot to solve a lot of my problems, is to have a debugger. And I'll tell you a secret. Not even a secret, everybody knows. I have no idea how to use the Menson debugger. I have no idea. And I can't even learn. I'd look up I haven't bothered with tutorials, or I tried to look up tutorials, but I do not know how this debugger works. I don't know what I'm looking at. I don't know how to search the variables I have. But you know what? I don't know any of this. I don't know what I'm looking at. You got carry, 0 interrupt. How do I go, how can I find my variables here? What am I supposed to type here? I have no idea. And I'm done. I don't have time. I gotta do a million things. I have to draw. I have to do this. Oh, this laptop's running on battery. I don't even know if I'm running choppy. I'm not even running the screen at 1080p. So now it's gonna be scaling here. Look at this stuff. Oh man, so it's gonna be a little blurry. Whatever, So you saw what I did. I was working on racing level. I did a racing engine, and I did this stuff. So how do I test it out? And you notice in my other engine, I had numbers in the corner of the screen. So that's what we're gonna do, and that's what I've been using. So we're gonna build a debugger inside our game that we can use to see if things are going right. This is an advanced thing, not the debugger part, but you know, if you guys can't keep track of your code and know what happens when it goes through the code, you're gonna have a problem programming. So you got to learn how to do that. So what we need to do is, and I'm not, you know what, I don't even want to talk in terms of code anymore. You guys can learn all the coding from my last videos. So I want to talk more like in layman's terms. And I think that will help you a lot more when learning how to code. So we're going to go here, and the whole thing is that the goal right now, you got the gameplay here, right? The goal right now is to display some of our numbers in the corner of the screen. How do we do that? You know already that we're going to have to use the sprite draw. And it's going to be, we have the post draw. We can do it in here. Or we could do it in the pre-draw. And we may want to do it in the pre-draw, so make sure our numbers go in the front and not in the back. Yeah, we want to make sure that. So we're gonna go real quick to project settings. And we're gonna go to the script settings. Sprite pre-draw, sprite pre-draw. And bam, there's the menu stuff. And I'm just gonna go here. Now, I don't want to do this. I'm too tired. So all we gotta do is we have to write code to do the sprite draw at the right position and everything. And that's a lot of work. Luckily, I did it in my other engine. So I'm just gonna get it from there. So I go into Zimmy and I go to I look for the pre-draws in the game. It's post-draw, yeah, here it is. Oh, I forgot. I don't do this no more, but I do. I was like nice and clean, but as you can see here now, I found a better way to deal with coding. I put these lines in between, and it makes it, well, not this one. Let me see. This one, yeah. Look at this. You can see that here's my fade set up here. I got check color timer, and then you scroll down, black fade color setup, and then black fade setup background, and then black fade setup sprite, white fade. You get the idea. It makes it easier for me to catch the code. Now that I'm also making the code slower but saving for space, it's less code to write. So look at this. This code is already 325 lines. But if I go to my original code, right? Now, I don't have it here, but it's way more. It is way more. It's a mess. And you know what? I'm going to show it to you anyway. It's a freaking mess. So I'm here. And I need to find the rest here. Let's see. I think it's in common. Ooh, I got my debug here. So we got a debug. And then I'm going to open the color effects. So to give you an idea, this is my color effects code. And it's already over to almost, look at this. It's almost 2,000 lines. 2,000 lines just to do all this color because I wanted to run super fast. And I realized it did not need to run super fast. So here's the fade black code. Now let's go through all the fade code and not count the other code to do like other things. I have the loader process here, store palette. I think all the fade is here. Anyway, you can see already, I'm getting the rest of the fade code, and it's changing one color at a time, one palette at a time. That's how fast I made it. I wanted to do one palette at a time during a scrolling, and it works nice. But look at all this. I'm already going over 1,000 lines of code, and I'm still not done doing a proper fade, let alone black and white. So it was just too much. It's too much. I can't deal with that. It's just so I went back and redid all the code, and now you saw it. It's here. I'm only, I got a lot of code in already, and I'm only at 300 lines. It's way cleaner. I can keep track of it, and I realized that you have to know what areas should you do the speed and what areas that you don't really need to do it, because it's a waste of time trying to like nickel and dime yourself on every cycle on Nesmaker. I think where most of the optimization should go to, where you sacrifice space for speed, is in the animation drawing, because you have multiple characters on the screen and every little bit helps. That's where you do the optimizations at. Everywhere else, it doesn't really matter. But I still do some optimizations. For example, for some reason in Nesmaker, I can't get the sprite and background color to change every frame. So in this code, it changes the background one frame, and next frame it changes the sprite, and then the timer goes, and the timer knows what speed to do it at. And that's great for me, because now I cut the processors in half. The processing is cut in half because one frame runs the background and the next frame runs the sprite. So even though this code is now 50% slower, it's not it's a 200% slower. It's not 400% slower. So at least I did a balance between space and speed. It's faster than it's not as slow what it could have been, even though it's slower than the fast code, but it's still pretty fast. So we're now at the debug here, and in my debug, all I did was I loaded up some variables and stored it into temps, and then I drew it. So with this, I can probably just copy it and paste it into my thing. So I'm going to copy this code and I'm going to paste it into my pre-draw, wherever it's at. I forgot where I put it at. Did I have it open before? Oh yeah, do sprite pre-draw. Now I'm going to paste here. And I should be rendering out 4 numbers. Yep, I'm rendering out 4 numbers. Now I can put what I want to do here. So I want to load in my to make sure things are working. I want to load in my color engine, and my color engine is made up of 2 things. I'm going to do color, well, I forgot, I'm so tired right now. So let's go to my color code. Oh, it's right over here. No, it's not. It's over here. Sprite post draw. So I'm gonna move it to the other view. Get back to my pre-draw. Oh shoot, this is the wrong pre-draw. I don't want that. Here it is, pre-draw. Yep, here. Now I'm gonna put, this is how I organize my stuff. I'm gonna put debug start and use the equal sign. And bam, now it's easy to find. You just look at the debug start here. Maybe I'll do a little indent, I'm getting more cleaner, but my code was messy before. But anyway, these should be the right positions to draw it, and I'm gonna pick my I don't want to get too much into the code, but first here, this bunch code checks for the status byte of the menu. If the menu's not done yet, the text writing, if the text is not done writing, at the skip the color code. That's why you saw the text was just there when it fade out. Excuse me, I'm tired. It's already midnight. I need to go to sleep. I got a big day at work tomorrow. So, Let's get this going. So I want to load my color timer high first, or low. I'll do color timer low. So LDA color timer low. As an LO, we don't use LOW in Nesmaker. You could use whatever you want, but I like using the LO to represent low, so I know that I got my low timer and my high timer. And it's nothing special. I use low timer for the speed of the coloring, and I use the high timer for the changing of the coloring. I know it may sound confusing, but you don't have to learn it too much. Now here, there's two numbers. So here's me drawing the first number by removing the last number, and I get to 0. And then I got a left shift. I got to rotate it to the left. No, sorry. I forgot what it's called. Logical something shift right. But the LSR means the right. So I rotate to the right 5 times so I get my first digit. Oh, and I got to make sure that my numbers are in the right place. So I hope I have them. Let's see. Let's go to player. I think okay, so I did that in the last game, so it's in the right place. As you can see, well, I'm not gonna get into it. Let's not get into it. Let's just enjoy the show. So now color time low, so first number. Now here is the second number. I'm gonna get rid of this. And we're gonna load that. All I gotta do is just remove the first bit and I get my nice low number there. And then I'm gonna copy this again because I don't feel like writing no more. So we're gonna go here. I'm gonna do color time high. Again, right over here and high. Let's save and let's see what we get. I hope we get something real good. I hope we don't get any errors. It's the morning. This is a quick edit. Last night I recorded on the wrong resolution and everything is all messed up, and I'm trying to salvage this footage because I don't have a lot of time to make videos because of the job this month. And so I'm going to salvage it, and I took out this part because you couldn't see the screen. So all I was showing here was I did the HUD code, and look, you can see the HUD in the bottom. And you can also see on the right side I put a bigger version of the HUD. So let me see what speed we're at. We are at 100. So now I'm going to reset it. And you saw what happened here. We're going to do it in slow motion. Right now I turned the fade off. The fade is not working properly right now because I turned off the code, and it's because you won't be able to see the numbers. So I was using this for debugging. Now in slow motion, you can see the number, the right number goes to 1 to 5 because that's the color timer high, and then the left number is the speed, which controls. I added code so I can control the speed of the fade. So I did it by every time I hit 7, it goes up by a number. So 0 to 5 is the fade in, and then now when I fade out, it goes to 11, then it goes to 12, 13, and 14. So you can see the fade out, and then it goes back here to do the fade in. But as you can see, the problem is that it froze and the menu didn't show up. So that's the problem I'm having. But this is what I basically showed you. I was changing things. So you're not supposed to see the text coming out and the fading comes late. There's nothing wrong. I just turn off everything. I'm just showing you that this is the way I debug, and now you can debug within your game. So you'll learn more about that in the next couple of minutes. So I'm just doing this video here. I cut out the other part because the resolution was bad and you couldn't see the numbers. So again, it was just to show you that you can use this for debugging. You can see now it's working because of the gameplay, and it goes back to 5 when it's done doing the fade in. So everything's basically what I talked about was that the color works, and so the problem is elsewhere. And this would save me a headache and days of coding. I've been using these numbers for a very long time. You can put as many numbers as you want. 2 is enough. I turn them on and off. I turn the ones I want on. but I have the code there. You're just writing numbers onto a screen, and it helps me debug a lot. And it's in the game. It's great. So back to the regular scheduled show. You see, this is what I go through every day. This is what Nesmaker people, programmers go through every day. We made a mistake, and it could be the spelling, or it could be we don't know our own code. And sometimes it could be Nesmaker, and sometimes not. And it can take hours to figure it out. Thankfully, I wrote the things here. This is what you got to write it here. So fade out. Here's the fade out code. I knew I was missing something. Now you can see here. I'm loading the bckPal X. I'll write it for you. Let's just do that again. So all I'm here, I'm loading color from palette. I'm loading the color from the palette, from current palette that's in the game, right? And then I remove the last 4 bytes. And I'm gonna do, let's look at the chart. I want to do that for you. It'll be pretty cool. Okay. So let's make this smaller so you can see the chart here. Oh boy, not like that. Okay. So we're gonna use red. Let's say it's color 26. We're going to deal with color 26. And this is the fade process. So I'm loading color 26 from the palette, and boom, I have a 26. Now I'm removing the last 4 bytes. That is going to give me a 20. And that will equal a white, but that doesn't matter. The reason why I'm removing this last byte and I get a 20, I want to check the number by itself. I want to check the first number because that controls the brightness. See 0, 1, 2, 3? So I remove last 4 bytes, right? And if it equals 0, compare the current brightness to 0. Because in programming terms, it's just numbers. But in visual terms, I'm trying to describe the code visually. That's what I'm trying to do. Oh, there's no auto spelling here. Look at me, writing this wrong. So we need to learn how to program visually, not like straight up, like, you know, just what it is. You gotta see for what it is. So here is numbers. If you look at it in a mathematical way, but if you look at it visually, you can see its brightness. You got 3, 2, 1, 0 in every number. So you can safely just describe to make it easy for you. This is the brightness of the color. So I'm comparing the current brightness. If it's 0, I want to go to the next step. If it's on the 0 values, I want it to go to black. So if it's 0 and equals, you do the black code. And we go down here to turn it to black. And we just load 0f to it. So it loads in the color value for black. You could just say a regular value, but no, this is we're focusing on color values for black. And then it stores it. Or forget about storing now. Visually, it changes the current color to black. Okay? Now, let's say what if it doesn't? It's, you know, if it's dark red, it's going to go black. But what if it's 26 and went to 16? It doesn't equal. So now it's going to load again. I have to load the current palette again because I messed it up with the and. I messed up the current palette. So if you skip this, you're going to get problems. I just killed it so that information is not accurate no more because of this. I removed the last 4 bytes. So I got to load it again. So I'm loading from the color palette again. All right. And then I'm clearing You always gotta do when you subtract. I'm clearing the, I don't know what flag it is, so I'm clearing the flag. I think it's the 0 flag, negative flag, I have no idea. And then I'm subtracting. You just do SEC so you don't get no problems. I'm subtracting 10 hex or 16. If you want to be like accurate, 16 decimal, but we gotta do 10. Oh, what I'm doing is mathematics. I'm getting rid of that. Heck no. Lower the brightness. Lower the brightness by 1. Brightness of current color. Okay, I'm lowering the brightness of current color by taking away 10. So it was 16. It's not ready to be black. It needs to be lower, so I subtract and I get 0.6. And then I'm changing current color. And then, since the color's been changed, I'm jumping over the black code. Because the color's changed and it's not ready to be black yet, so we skip it over. Now it skips. I increase the X register to go to the next color and check if it's 16. I'm done with the colors and I leave. So that's, I'm fading all the way and I get to even change the color to 0F, which makes it a lot more easier than writing 100 or 200 lines of code to do that. And it does for all 16 colors. So now I'm just going to lock this thing here so I won't do it. And hopefully this time it will work. It won't fade and I can read my colors and see what's going on. Okay. All right, let's see what we got. Okay, I can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I press it. 11, 12, 13, 14. Bam. So you saw that. I have to make sure it's going correct. So I got a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to slow it down even more. 11, 12, 13, 14, and then it warps. Fast forward a little bit, and then bam, it fades in. Okay, let's make sure the code is doing that. Let's draw. I forgot what I was doing. Oh my god. I forgot the numbers I just saw. Was it 11? It's supposed to be 11, right? Let's see it again. I totally forgot what I saw. I have short-term memory, especially now that I'm tired. 3, 4, 5, 11, 12, 13, 14. So it's at 11 and it's going color fade out check. There it is, and it goes to color fade. So we scroll down quickly and look for the green box. Look at that, color fade. And it goes to the color mode, which I blocked. And then when it's done with background color, so it hops all that because it doesn't need none of that. And we go here and and this is the background. See, I have to do it separately. I can't do both bits. So here's one to update the background color and one to update the sprite color. After it's done, it goes to finish color. Oh, it says compare 15. Oh yeah, that's what it does. It compares 15. And if it's equal, do the fade warp. That goes here. And you saw it warped. Then it loads a 0 to the color timer, which it does, and it goes back to 5. So by using debugging, the code works. It's working. What I don't realize, what I'm trying to figure out is why the menu doesn't work after it goes to another menu. Excuse me, I am tired and I'm gonna head to sleep. So I will do a part 2 and I will figure this out. But this debug thing here, it helps with the process of elimination. And at least now I don't have to guess if my code's working or not. The numbers have showed me that my color code is working, my fading is working. 5 and then there, bam, and it's working. And this has helped me a lot. So now I don't have to waste hours and hours trying to figure out if the fading is working or not. The color's working, but the menu's not. So I'm gonna have to load some menu variables here and see if they're hitting the right variables to see what's the problem. And I'll get that in the next episode. But I am working a Broadway show and I have a day job as well too. And I barely have any time to work on anything, but I try to make the time and stuff. And I want, I'm gonna have the music videos soon. Go learn about music and some other things. And when that time comes, I'll see you. All right, guys. So have a wonderful night. I am going to sleep, and I'll see you guys next time.